Evening all, just wanted to pop in. So this is the first day that we've had the channel up, and already the subscribers have jumped up. I know we had a couple yesterday, we're up to about 30 just now, so I'm really chuffed with that. So for all the current subscribers and people that just joined us, thank you, and I really hope you're going to enjoy the content and this page. So as I promised, what we're going to do is every day I'm going to do like a little 5-10 minute video about what's going on, what's happening with the podcast world. We're going to do sort of videos with Martin and I where we're going to explain a bit more about our background and just have a general chit chat, and do the after show talk as well. So when we've had guests on, we're going to go live afterwards and we're going to sort of speak to you about who we've just had on and give you a little bit of a sneak preview about what we discussed and the podcasts that are coming up next and anything in between, questions that you ask us and so forth. So that's the intention of this page. It's all about engagement. We want to get the subscriber numbers up. So we're at about 30 something now after a couple of days. The next milestone will be to get us up to 50 subscribers, and then we can start doing the live shows, which is exactly what we want to be doing. So we want to be talking to everyone directly, and then we haven't got to do the videos, and you haven't got to sort of put stuff in the comments section and wait for us to reply. So we're really excited. Hopefully we'll hit 50 in the next couple of days, and then it'll be 500, 1,000. We just hope to grow and grow the platform. So please, if you're enjoying this, share the page with your friends, subscribe if you're not subscribing, if you've just found us, and let's have some fun with this. What we're going to talk about today. So the first question that I actually had through yesterday was, what products are we using on our podcast to sort of edit, to film, and to record? So I've got a pretty simple setup. There's so many sort of things on the internet that you can look at. So I'm a big fan of the Rode products. I think it's an Australian company. So I've got a mixing desk, which is called the Rode Procaster. There's a new one out now, the Procaster 2. And I use that along with the Rode mic, and it's very simple. Just plug it in, I put it into the laptop, and just literally press record. And you can mix it, you can put sounds in and everything else. Really versatile bit of kit, probably about £400 or £500. The mics are a few £100s each. And I went for sort of a medium to high end setup and didn't spend the earth, and it works well, it's good sound. What I've also just brought are these, as you can sort of see, I've got one on here, the Rode microphone, so it's the Wireless Pro. Really good bit of kit. I'm really impressed with it actually. So, all we need is the receiver module, which is the same size as this, which just plugs into your phone on the USB-C cord. Very simple. It's got a self-battery power. It's got its own memory stick if you need it. And you just give your guests or yourself one of these microphones, and that's it. Just press record on the app. We use Zoom for our talks. I use Riverside. I use Buzzsprout to host the podcast. And it's all really pretty simple. But anyone who's interested in podcasting out there, just drop me a line. More than happy to show you the setup. I might actually do a video separate to this on the setup and how I do it, because I'm a bit of a techno geek and I do enjoy it, but I don't want to go to the nth detail of having to edit every episode and try and do all the sounds. I like to try and use AI where possible. Anyway, so today, what a day in the news. I've just picked out a couple of things from the news. I've gone with Sky News. I do actually listen to GB News a fair bit. A lot of people say it's right wing, but I personally think they probably reflect a lot of what this country thinks at the moment, and it's just the narrative of the lefties and the liberals that are trying to promote them as far right. But I think they're just speaking the truth. BBC, I think, has lost its way over the past few years. A lot of the things that happen out there, they just don't report on, or they've got a lot of bias, which they shouldn't have. Sky News I use. I don't mind that. It's not so bad, but probably a little bit left-leaning at the moment. But some of the big news stories of today, obviously Ukraine, sort of Putin sort of saying that he's going to go nuclear, but he's been saying that forever. So that red line, it's sort of wearing thin. Will it happen? Will he go nuclear? I don't know. Obviously, we all absolutely hope not. But, if he does, I think it would be a completely different world we're living in. And I don't even want to think about what that might look like, especially for my children. But one of the big things today is old Khalif, the soldier who's been sent to prison today. He was already in prison. He was an ex-British soldier, young kid, like 23, 24 years old. He's been convicted of being a foreign asset, so he was a spy for the Iranians. He was actually in my regiment, and I didn't know him. I don't know his complete background, but I do know that he joined up at 16 years old. and pretty soon after, from what the news is saying, he approached foreign agents in Iran and offered to sell information to them. Now, as a former soldier myself, the ultimate betrayal is when one of your brothers, the person that is in the trenches, the person that's fighting next to you, is actually against you. He's sold personal details of members of special forces and other members of the military, which is, it's just the worst possible crime. And he's obviously been convicted of espionage, and it should be treason. Perhaps, I don't know what the test for that is, but I really hope that it comes as a lesson that if you're going to do anything like this, you go down for life. The keys are getting thrown away. It's a travesty that it's happened to such a young person, but he's made that decision. You know right from wrong. But I think the bigger issue is, how did the military even give this guy vetting? He's in the Royal Signals. He's got access to some very secretive documents. He'll have a high level of vetting. He's working on communications equipment with us, with NATO and other partner forces. And so he obviously had access to some pretty sensitive information, and he has somehow managed to sort of take that, download it, and he's obviously passed it off to the foreign agents in Iran and potentially other places as well. And what we don't know is if that information that he provided, did that actually lead to the death of any service members? Because there's obviously certain operations that members of the military are on that will never make it into the public domain. If they get killed, it is just, obviously their death will get reported, but it will be reported as something potentially different, or there won't be much news around it because of obviously the secrecy of what's going on. So, I really hope he hasn't been involved in something that's led to the death of servicemen, but we just don't know. And so, yeah, I hope he goes down for a long time, but the vetting of him has obviously failed massively. You get various types of vetting in the military. One of the most sort of intrusive is called DV, which is developed vetting, which means you have to tell everyone your life story. They want to know everything, the good, the bad. And it's not about trying to catch you out if you've done drugs, if you've been caught shagging a bloke who was a woman in Thailand, or whatever it may be. They want to know that you have told them everything so that no foreign governments can effectively blackmail you into, telling everyone what you've done, because you've already told everyone. But the DV process isn't as good as it used to be. Now, I've been through that process, and I personally felt that it was quite easy, even though I'd sort of told them absolutely everything. It didn't feel like I was being interrogated much. And years ago, when I had my first one, 25 years ago, honestly, I felt like it was the Stasi. Now, maybe it's because it's being done by outside agencies. I don't know, but someone really needs to look at the vetting. The second thing, Scotland. They're going to give the pensioners the money. Brilliant. Scotland don't usually get it right, and I suppose a good thing is that they're going to look after their pensioners, give them the winter fuel allowance. Hopefully, Wales will follow along with, as being a devolved nation as well, and then that might drag the England, the British government or the English Parliament, however it works, into paying that £300 a year. Such a trivial sum. And lastly, we're talking about money. What a surprise. Numbers are up on immigration. So net immigration, they've revised for the figures today. It was at about 750,000, and they've just re-looked at it. They've got their abacus back out, and we're actually at about 1 million people. And something like 36% more on the spends that we're putting in to look after immigrants that have come to this country. So we're talking billions a year that are being spent now on housing and security for people that are coming here. Feels like a hugely broken system. Can't someone just apply some common sense to this whole issue and stop it or deal with it? I don't understand why, if you come to this country, you're taken to a certain centre, you're housed there in a secure environment, you're processed rapidly. If you've got to go, they get you back out of the country. If you're staying here, earn your keep. What's wrong with doing some community service, helping sweep the streets, get rid of the graffiti, helping deliver stuff, whatever it may be an asset to the country, really get involved, integrate with society. I'd be totally for that. It's not slave labour, it's purely earning your keep. And the last one, which isn't a surprise, we've all seen Gordon Ramsay and the chefs and everyone on telly, and they love to have a shout and a scream and swear and whatever it may be. But old Masterchef, he's been sent down, he's been cancelled, I think is the modern term. So 60 odd years old, he's just been told, as the head of Masterchef, he's got to go because he probably told a few racy jokes and someone doesn't like it. So that's the BBC for you again. I really fear for what is going to be on telly and how we're going to all be working in 5-10 years time. You know, things like Little Britain, that would just be cancelled outright today. It would never happen. Some of the Ricky Gervais sketches, they wouldn't happen. That's probably why he's on Netflix now and he can't go onto mainstream TV. But well, on this channel, you know, I've got my opinions. Martin's got his opinions. Our guests have their opinions, and you know, we're not going to dilute them. We're going to put them out there. Obviously, we'll not be offensive. You know, we're not racist, homophobic, or any of these other terms. But we're certainly not going to bend over to the Karens and the pronouns of this world. So, hope you're enjoying in the podcast. Please, as I said at the beginning, just subscribe to the show. The actual podcasts themselves, some of them aren't recorded on video. They're purely audio, so you can listen to them on YouTube, but you can also shoot over to Spotify and all the other streaming platforms and listen to it there. But we are, moving forward, going to put a lot more of it onto video so that you can watch it on here. And we're also going to be live streaming some of the podcasts with our guests, and we'll give you notice ahead of time about when that's going to happen. Well, that's enough from me tonight. So that's Thursday night, almost the end of the week. It's been a long one. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what's going on in the news. Martin and I are catching up tonight, so we're going to have a little 20-30 minute two-way conversation. So I'll record that, we'll whack that up and give you a bit more of the backstory about what we've all been up to and where we come from. But hope you enjoyed that. Please share if you liked it, got any questions, press subscribe button, press the like button, ask me a question and I'll respond. Thank you. Have a good night.